Hello, my loves. So I wanted to come on and talk about the full moon in Libra today. Talk a little bit about the sign of Libra and do a angel message for Libra today. I'm sorry, not for Libra, for the collective. Due to the full moon in Libra. So first of all, let's talk about the full moon in Libra. So today is the full moon in Libra, like I've said 1,000 times. And what is Libra? Libra is the zodiac sign of balance. Libra rules over balance. It rules over balance between the heart and the mind. It rules over unity. So Libras may be experiencing a lot of overthinking right now if you're imbalanced. Okay. If you are Libras are feeling imbalanced right now, you may be feeling really confused, feeling like you're not really sure what your purpose is, not really sure what's going on right now. So it's really important to find your balance, especially for a Libra. It is a balance between the mind and the heart. It is the scales of justice, the scales of love, between love and thought. So it's really, really important to think about that. What does the full moon represent? So for those of us who don't yet know what the full moon represents, the full moon is a time of releasing. So a full moon in Libra, especially a pink full moon in Libra, pink full moon in Libra for me represents a time of releasing maybe relationships or traumas that have caused an imbalance in you. Toxic relationships, releasing, maybe not toxic relationships, but maybe releasing the history in the past and learning to forgive. Learning to forgive today as a Libra, or and even not as a Libra, using the energy of Libra to help forgive those people who we love and we don't necessarily want to push them away, but they have caused us some hurt. They say, there's a saying, and I think Shakespeare said it first, those who we love hurt us the most. And that's because it matters the most to us, right? So those who we love are the ones who tend to hurt us the most, because we care about what they did, about how they talked to us, about how they made us feel. So today is a really important, for me, it's about what can I release. Is it something that I need to release in my relationship with someone? Is there, it's not always about releasing that person, because if you just release that person and you don't release that negativity that was there, you're still holding on to that negativity. So it's really important not just to cut off a person sometimes, but also, obviously we can't change someone, but expressing our truth. What is the truth that is causing you to say, you know what, you're not healthy for me anymore. I need to release you. I need to let you go. For those of us now, I keep saying we're about to go into a Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet that rules over Libra, which is why Libras are so much about uniting, about love. Libras want to hold on to that love, want to hold on to that relationship, and to make things right, even if they're being hurt in the process. So the thing with Libra is that it influences you to look at things from almost like a rose-colored glasses perspective, at least to my understanding of Libras, but of the zodiac sign of Libra. But also it also confronts you with the truth. It confronts you saying, hey, listen, because Libra is an air sign, and Libra is the most blunt air sign. That's why they tend to avoid confrontation, because when Libras confront someone, it's because they are at their breaking point. And when a Libra confronts someone, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty drastic. And that Libra is going to cut you down with their words, because the sign of Libra is the most truthful. But it's also, it can be, if that Libra doesn't know how to use their sword properly. Libra is represented by the Queen of Swords in the tarot. If the Libra doesn't know how to use their sword properly, they can end up cutting down somebody just with their words. Okay, so it's really, really important to remember that aspect. So think about, how can you speak your truth with love today? Okay, how can you speak your truth with love? Oh, there she is. She just popped up. There is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, she does not play. She is not for play. Okay, Libra is the Queen of Swords. She is justice as well in the tarot. She is not for play. So she's like, I'm gonna cut your head off right now if you don't stop. So figure out how you can, but she's also the sweetest in her heart. Okay, so the Queen of Swords usually says her truth out of a place of love, out of a place of, you know what, I care about you so much and you're just agitating me with your behavior. Libras are the ones that tend to want to fix people. So this is why for me, this is the sign of Metresili, because Metresili is so loving, so loving, but she's also very truthful. Okay, so for me, this is her symbol for the spirit of Metresili, because she is that way in the fact that she wants to unite. She's ruled, she wants everyone to get along together, and it makes her very upset when people don't get along with each other. So that is definitely that Queen of Swords energy. Now, when we're talking about the full moon in Libra, okay, what can we release? I keep talking about the fact that Venus, the planet that rules over Libra and Taurus, is going retrograde. It's going retrograde, I believe, around the 15th of April to the middle of May or end of May. Okay, that means that Venus, the planet of love, is going to be slowing down its orbit, meaning that it's going to be coming closer to Earth's orbit. And because of that, because it's going retrograde, the orbit of Venus is going to be so slowed down that it's going to be appearing to be going backwards. But in reality, what it's doing is just getting closer to Earth. So what happens there is that Venus retrograde causes intensification in relationships. So it doesn't surprise me that we have a pink moon. Okay. We have a pink moon right before a Venus retrograde. Doesn't always mean that your relationships are going to break down. If Venus is the planet of love. Venus is the planet of love and relationships. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is going to break down. It's going to make you rethink your relationships. And it may even make you rethink your relationships and make you realize what you need to be grateful for. If you're in a relationship that you're with somebody who you should be more grateful for, Venus is going to make you notice that. Venus is going to go, listen, you have a great person here and you keep complaining because you want to compare your relationship to everybody else. Okay. Venus may also say, you know what, this is not the woman or not the man that I want to be with. Venus may say that to you, but Venus may also make you appreciate what you do have. Okay. So, it's important to remember. So today is a perfect time before Venus gets here and slaps you in the face with it, to think, okay, am I comparing my relationship? Am I comparing my man or my woman or whatever to somebody else, maybe on social media, who is, first of all, you can't believe everything you see on social media, okay? Everything that is on social media is not what it seems, okay? Am I comparing my relationship to somebody else who is faking their joy? And then we are comparing and damaging our own relationships because we're trying to impose someone else's behavior upon our partner. So that's something that we have to remember, that everything you see on social media is not truth. So you need to remember that you need to pay attention to how you're taking what's on social media and putting it as an expectation on your relationships. And that's what would be a really great thing for you to acknowledge today. If you're in a romantic relationship and you're doing that, today is also a great time to acknowledge, am I in toxic relationships? Am I in energy imbalanced relationships? Okay, the 6 of Coins in the tarot talks about being in an energy imbalanced relationship. Am I in those types of relationships? Meaning that I'm constantly giving to these people, and then they're never returning anything in return. They don't even have the audacity to return a phone call or a text message. I understand a lot of people don't like talking over on the phone nowadays, but you don't even have the audacity to return my text message, okay? Then that means that person really doesn't put you at the forefront, because it takes 2 seconds to return a text message. It means that person is not putting you at the forefront. And it's not about you. You have to also remember that sometimes the way other people treat you is not about you. It's about them. It's a reflection of who they are. And that's what Libra is trying to tell you today, is that, that person is behaving that way, and it's not about me. Sometimes it's not about us. Most of the time it's about that person. It's a reflection of how that person feels about themselves. Okay? That person, I encounter a lot of relationship issues in my practice, and a large amount of relationship issues come from the fact that the man that they're with has abandonment issues, so therefore they don't know how to commit. So if you have abandonment issues, then because a lot of men that I deal with, their wife or their girlfriend wants to be with them, wants to offer them the world, but they have abandonment issues, meaning that maybe their mother didn't stick around or their father didn't stick around. So they have abandonment issues. So therefore now that has turned into a curse of not being able to commit to someone, not being able to be loyal to someone, not being able to know how to love someone else, because they don't know how to love themselves. They don't feel worthy of themselves. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel worthy of love. They don't feel worthy of attention. So therefore, they make other people feel that way. And it's a projection. It's a projection of how someone feels. Anytime someone behaves a certain way towards you, think about, what could they possibly be using me as a mirror for? Okay? Because that person is very likely using you as a mirror for how they feel about themselves. And that is the reason why they are behaving that way. And today is a perfect day to experience that and ask yourselves, what is this person using me as a mirror for? What am I not aware of? Okay, what behaviors am I showing to the world that is not true to my heart, right? Because we behave out of fear often, and out of misunderstanding and out of assumptions, out of our mind, okay? Our mind is a trickster. And we have to be careful sometimes with what our mind tells us, which is why I tell people, when you're practicing magic, you can't practice it with your head. You have to practice it with your heart, because your heart tells you the message from spirit. Your heart is what receives the messages from plants and from crystals and from waters and from different types of spices. So your heart is the one that receives the messages. It's the one who receives the messages from animal spirits and plant spirits. So if you're practicing from the point of your head, you're not going to be able to feel the magic. You're not going to be able to feel and experience, okay? So it's great to have the knowledge up here, but if you don't have the heart, you will not experience it. If you don't put your heart into something, you're not going to experience the benefits of it. You're not going to experience the benefit of communicating with a crystal, or you're not going to experience the benefit of communicating with animal spirits or plant spirits or divine spirits. Okay, so that feeling then fuels your knowledge. So that's why Libra talks about a balance between the heart and the mind, not letting your mind get away from you. Because if you let your mind get away from you, it's like people are always saying the devil is a liar. Sometimes, it's not even the devil, it's ourselves telling ourselves lies. So we have to be careful not to allow those negative energies into our space. So this is why it's really, really important. If you're working with the full moon in Libra today, I would suggest calling upon the Archangel Haniel. Her name is Haniel. Archangel Haniel is the ruler of the moon. She is responsible for emotion and moon energies. So, you know, the moon has goddesses like Yemaya, Oshun. All the water goddesses are pretty much moon goddesses, moon deities. But then you have also archangels that are responsible for taking care of the energies of the moon. Okay, so sometimes if we are thinking a lot of negative things, today is a perfect day to do a mind uncrossing. If your mind is not where it needs to be, today is a perfect day to uncross your mind, to do a mind uncrossing spell, to do meditation and maybe journal as to what it is that you need to release. Okay, because it's really important to release those energies. If you are a person that overthinks a lot of things, you should be getting a mind uncrossing, or you should be doing a mind uncrossing at least like every single full moon to clear the junk, because your body reacts to everything you think. The cells in your body reacts to everything you think. Okay? So that is it. Even if you overcome that energy, right? You still stored that thought somewhere in your subconscious. So you need to be doing a mind uncrossing. So you can do a mind uncrossing with a skull candle or with a white candle and pray to your archangels to help you clear your mind. I do offer professional mind uncrossings if you're interested in that. The professional mind uncrossings that I do, they usually last anywhere between 3 months to 6 months, because the mind needs to be refreshed every few months. If you're doing it yourself, you need to be doing it once a month, at least, if you're doing it yourself. So it's really, really important, because we carry so much psychic crap, excuse my language, in our minds that our cells are like reacting to it. If you think about it, even just your skin, if you start thinking your skin is like, you keep thinking, oh my God, my skin is really dry, really dry. Notice how your skin, no matter what you put on it, it just gets drier and drier and drier, because your skin is actually receiving that message. Okay, so today is about finding that balance between the heart and the mind. So let's go ahead and see what Archangel Haniel, Archangel Michael, I ask you to connect me to Archangel Haniel and to allow her to give me a message that we need to hear at this time for the collective. What is her message for us? So I'm going to start with the oracle cards with her, and then I'm going to pull from the tarot and see what she has to say. I'll ask you to come through. Give us a message. Okay, so today you need to be channeling your knowledge. So you need to be writing things down. So she's talking about you writing things down right now. Channel your knowledge onto paper. So anything that's kind of like taking up your mind, you need to put it on paper. So notice how he's writing there. So everything that you are thinking about, negative or positive, I would do a negative list and burn it. Okay, that's another way of releasing those things that are negative in your mind, releasing them and then purifying them through fire. Be careful when you burn paper. Be very careful. But I would suggest writing a list of negative things that you think about and then burning it and asking Archangel Haniel to help you transmute that into positive things. And then writing a list of the positive things into your journal that you want to attract into your life. Writing your gratitude, what you're grateful for, okay? Also, today, let's navigate distractions, okay? She's talking about making sure that we are navigating distractions. Excuse me while I take a sip. that we're navigating the distractions. There's a lot of things you have to remember. The internet, the television, there's a lot of these things are used by demonic entities and shadow entities to travel through realms. So if you're in front of a television or in front of the internet and you're not protecting yourself when you are watching the internet or the television, you are susceptible to receiving messages from tricksters. Okay. Yes, screaming at the top of your lungs can definitely be a release. So you are susceptible to receiving messages from tricksters. So making sure that you're protecting you're protecting your phone. You're doing a prayer over your phone, or you're doing a prayer over your television. You're protecting your mirrors. So these are portals. These are portals that are opened up to other dimensions and are susceptible to being used. If we are constantly watching negative vibrational things, it increases the energy of the portal to vibrate in a negative vibration. Okay. Also, there are light codes coming in right now as well. So there are, if you are on social media, you're going to be feeling this, okay? If you're constantly on social media, watching the news, watching all those negative things, you're going to constantly be feeling distracted. If you go outside and you spend some time in the sunlight and you allow your crown to be charged by the sun, then you're going to start feeling the light codes that are coming in from positive beings that are trying to charge your aura. Okay. Today is a perfect time to cleanse your home, to protect your home, to receive messages from spirits of light, which are received through sunlight. Okay. And you'll be able to travel spiritually. Okay. If you put yourself in that positive space, I know that we're supposed to be staying home, and I'm not saying don't be home, but you can go outside your front yard and literally just walk around in a circle in the sunlight and give yourself some light. Okay. And receiving these light codes that we need so badly for our upgrades. We need energetic and immune system upgrades right now. We can't receive those in front of the television, in front of the phone all day long. We just can't, because the phone and television are computers. They're portals for energies that are distracting. Okay. The last thing that Haniel wants to say from the oracle is act with care. Act with care. Maybe you're not worried about things for yourself, which is good, not to be too worried. But make sure that you are acting with care, with protecting yourself in order to protect others. Okay. Also, not spreading fear and misinformation. Okay. Not spreading fear and misinformation, because fear and misinformation, is not something that is good for the immune system either. Okay. Not involving yourself in gossip. Gossip is actually the worst thing for your immune system. It's a very low vibrational thing to do. It's a very low vibrational thing to experience. So it's really important for us to act with care. Also, if you have something that you can give up, like if you have a roll of toilet paper and your neighbor might not have it, maybe give it, share it with them. So, because a lot of people went to Costco and bought like 100,000 rolls of toilet paper, and they're hoarding them in their house. So let's act with care. Let's act with conscientiousness towards one another. Okay, when we go shopping, if there's only 2 things left on the shelf, don't take both things. Leave one there for someone else who might need it. Okay. If you go to the store and you need Florida water and there's only 3 bottles of Florida water, don't buy all 3 of them. God will replenish for you, so you don't have to buy all 3 Florida waters. So let's act with conscientiousness towards one another. Our actions. All right, let me go ahead and see what message Archangel Michael has through the tarot today, and then I'm gonna leave you to contemplate what it is that you're gonna be doing today during the full moon in Libra, what you're gonna be releasing. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and see what Archangel Michael has to say. Now, don't forget, like, just because you feel perfectly fine, don't forget to wear your mask to the grocery store. You don't need to send, you know, all your family members to the grocery store at the same time. Let's kind of let's go one at a time. All right, let's see here. All right, so Archangel Michael is saying, let's think about what you're grateful for today. Okay, let's see here. So the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is all about gratitude and contentment. Let's think about what you are grateful for today. All right. Acknowledge what you're grateful for. Acknowledge what you have. This is the Merchant. You know, he's like, I have all these cups back here. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm happy with my success. You know, I'm doing well. What are we grateful for? Let's be conscientious of our negative thoughts, okay? So here's all the negative, all the things that are happening that are bad, and we're just focusing on those things, but we're leaving behind the good things that are happening back here, all right? Like, we get to be home. We get to not have to go to work, and maybe many of us don't have to go to work and don't have to follow a schedule. Know that Spirit will always provide for you. So look at the things that you are receiving that are positive, and let's be conscious about not crying over spilled milk, okay? Because this person is just so sad because they're focusing just on the negative. So a lot of the things with depression, it's not that you can just get over it. It's about shifting and choosing to shift. I know this because I suffer from chronic depression for a really, really long time. And then Spirit said to me, you know, you choose to struggle because you choose to focus on the things that are going wrong rather than focusing on the things that are going right. And this is really important when someone suffers from depression. It's about the mental switch. Okay, it's about that mental switch. Also, when you suffer from depression, it's also low amounts of serotonin in your body, meaning that you need more sunlight. You need more outside time. You need to connect with nature. A lot of people who suffer from depression are deep empaths, meaning that we are very sensitive to energy. So if we're receiving a lot of negative messages from negative energies, we are going to be very sad and very depressed and very overwhelmed. So it's really, really important to get outside, to get some fresh air, to touch a tree, to connect with nature. Okay. Right here, the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords for me talks about betrayal. So today is a really important day to think about, how are you betraying yourself? How are you betraying your beliefs, or how are you betraying your heart by being around something that maybe is not good for you? And this is about, you know, taking what benefits you and walking away from that which does not. So if you have somebody who's constantly betraying you through like infidelity, does this person really love you if they're not thinking about the feelings that you have from their actions? So, you know, someone who really, really loves you, in order for them to be unfaithful to you, they have to be going through some deep crap that is so deep that they are using infidelity as a way to cope with it. So that is not something. That's something that we need to think about and need to consider. But also, is it okay for them to take it out on you in this way? Remember, everyone's actions is a projection of themselves, okay? Another thing, there is the High Priestess. The High Priestess talks about looking within and trusting your intuition, okay? Trusting your intuition. Also realizing that there are negative and positive forces in the universe. Okay, there are negative and positive forces. That's what the black and the white pillars stand for. So there is negative and positive forces. So making sure to protect yourself, to trust your intuition, trust your feeling around certain people, around certain situations. You're like, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm gonna walk away from this. This is not for me. And that's what Michael is saying too here, is walk away from those things that don't feel right, that don't feel correct in your heart, that don't feel like that's really the way that you're supposed to be. That's not really something you're supposed to be dealing with. Also, let's think about how can we share and experience love. Okay. This card reminds me very, very much of the 23rd Psalm. My cup runneth over with blessings is what it says in the 23rd Psalm of the Bible. David's Psalm that he wrote when he was fighting Goliath. So that he said when he was fighting the giant Goliath. So here's a thought. How can we think, and how can we perceive, and how can we receive a cup overflowing with blessings, with love? How can we receive and give love right now? Okay. And this is also about you see the little Holy Spirit bird up here putting a cracker into the cup. And this is about trusting in spirit and trusting in God, that God will fill your cup, that you will have enough, and that you will only have as much as you believe that you will have, and as much as you believe that you deserve. Okay. So you need to be able to think about, what do I deserve? What are the good things that I deserve to receive? Okay. And then here Spirit is talking about, Michael is talking about fast action. So moving yourself, keep moving. So here, this usually represents travel, things happening very quickly, but obviously we can't be traveling at the moment. So this is about keeping your body moving. This is about keeping your body in motion, okay? And allowing those energies to be moved out of your body, okay? And to receive the energies that are positive for yourself today. So that is what that card represents. Now, the last card that Spirit is bringing up here is the Two of Wands, and it's about looking at the world. Look at the world. Look at the positive things that the world is receiving from this. I know there's a lot of negatives that the world is receiving right now, but what are some of the positive things? How can we be comforting to those people who are receiving bad news right now, who are whose family members are passing away? How can we be comforting to them? How can we add to the world? Looking at the horizon and kind of saying, there's got to be a higher purpose for everything that's happening right now. Understanding that and asking and praying for that higher purpose to be shown to you. So that is what this card really reminds me of. It's like, okay, there's also kind of a card of like, stay your butt home and think about what you're doing for the world by staying home. See, notice how he's inside his castle. He's like inside his castle. He's got like looking out there like, what's happening outside, but he's not going outside. Unless it's to spend some time in nature. So unless it's to spend some time in nature in social distancing, try to stay home right now, but also try to contemplate, what is the bigger picture? Why would God allow something like this to happen? What is the bigger picture? What can we learn from what is happening right now? Can we learn maybe that we need to be a little bit more conscientious of one another, that maybe we need to be more careful and more loving to the earth, so that the earth is not creating things that can hurt us in return? Okay, he's calculating his moves. He's like, what am I going to do when I can come out of quarantine? So he's got the world in his hands, and all of us do. All of us have the ability to manifest good things. So that is, having the world in our hands. We all really do, if we are conscious about our power. And if we practice our power, and we practice our power of manifestation through positivity, we are able to get our magic back. And we are able to contemplate what we can do for ourselves and for the world. All right. So that is the message from Archangel Michael for you guys today. I hope that you enjoy your full moon in Libra. Spend some time with yourself. Don't be afraid to look in your deep, dark parts of yourself, and don't judge yourself. Okay? When you're looking in those deep, dark parts of yourself, don't judge yourself. Just accept it. Feel whatever emotions you need to feel. if you need to cry, if you need to yell at somebody, yell at a tree or something, if you need to go outside and exchange those energies with a tree, do so. If you need to write those negative things down and become, sometimes it's hard to criticize ourselves or to acknowledge that in ourselves that something may be wrong. So in the sense of, okay, maybe sometimes I can be a little too pushy, or maybe sometimes I can be a little too judgy, or maybe sometimes I can be a little impatient, and I need to try to do better at that. Okay, so that is what today is about. It's about what can you try to do better? What can we try to do better? We don't have to be perfect, but what can we try to do better? All right. So Archangel Michael, Archangel Haniel, and all the angels and spirits of light are sending you guys many, many blessings. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy your full moon in Libra. Bye-bye.